Hey loves, good morning. Let's just dive straight in today because I want to talk about why it's not working. Why it's not working. Why when you're doing all the things in your business, you're not getting the results you want. That's what I want to talk about today. So if you are feeling frustrated, conflicted, confused, you are trying to manifest more clarity, more money, more confidence. You're doing all the things in your business. You've invested in the systems, the strategies, the processes. You're doing your spiritual practices every day, and yet nothing is working. This is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why it's not working and what to do about it. So I'm going to invite you to write this down. Actually, I'm going to begin with a fundamental truth, Now, for some of you, when you hear this truth, it may be just a bit of a facepalm moment, a bit of a, oh, of course, I knew that. And you can jump back into creative flow. For others, for some of you, it may be like blinking into the bright light of truth, really like, oh my God, and it will resonate as truth. So, and then there may be some of you who are like, oh God, I know that, move on, tell me something I don't know. And if that's you, the latter, the third, then it's really about, you may know this, but you're not embodying it. And this is where this is the difference that makes the difference. It's about embodying this truth. So, and bear with me, this is live, of course, and I have no notes, so let's just see where this goes. But if you can, write this down, what I'm about to say. And this is the truth. Consciousness is the one and only reality. It's Neville Goddard. Consciousness is the one and only reality. When I read that some years ago, it was like almost like a pan in the face moment of blinding, beautiful truth. Consciousness is the one and only reality. So if you're saying, yeah, I've heard that, I know that, but you're still struggling in your business, you're still not getting results, you're still waking up every day thinking, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You're still every night going to bed worrying about where the next client is coming from. You're worrying about money running out. Then yes, you may know this, but you are not embodying it, because the truth that consciousness is the one and only reality puts the power straight in your hands, because what you choose to be conscious of is exactly where the power is. That's your choice. You can choose. So what does this mean exactly? Consciousness is the one and only reality. What are you conscious of? Because whatever you are conscious of moment to moment is creating and recreating your results day in, day out. It's creating and recreating your reality day in, day out. So if you are conscious of your business not working, if you are conscious of this is hard, you're telling people, oh my God, this is so hard. I feel so confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You are conscious of not knowing what you're supposed to be doing. You are conscious of business being hard, thereby creating your reality. If you are so conscious of your bank account diminishing, you're conscious of your debt, you're conscious of no clients coming in, an empty discovery call calendar, all of that. You get the picture. Whatever you are conscious of is what you are creating day in, day out. And I know it's not easy when your 3D reality is right in your face. You might be saying or yelling at me, yeah, but I look at my bank account and it's frightening. I'm running out of money, or I've not signed a client in months. This is really frightening. And I get it. So I want to talk about, what to do, how to shift your state of consciousness in a way that you're able to create real results. And this is a practice. This is a practice. You don't go to the gym once and expect the muscles. You have to go to the gym consistently in order to get the results that you desire. And especially when you're shifting consciousness, shifting your state of consciousness. You hear about levels of consciousness. As you are shifting the stuff underneath, that is the lower levels of consciousness, as you rise up, you start to become conscious of higher and higher frequencies, where all that you desire exists. So the thing to do, and my business partner Candice is in the middle of a mental detox challenge in our group at the moment. It's a free group. You can go check it out. It's the Business Bliss Hub. I can put the link below, but she's going through with the guys in there a mental detox, 7-day mental detox, because it's really important that as you wanting to think big and create these big dreams for yourself, and maybe you've even minimized them because you're so frustrated you haven't created anything yet, so you're trying to be realistic, and that's a mistake, and I'll talk about why in a second. But Candice is running this detox because it's about clearing out the stuff that blocks you from actually rising in consciousness. So where do you need to forgive? What do you need to let go? What do you need to release and discharge from your psyche in order for you to raise in consciousness? So let's talk about, okay, so the 3D reality is really in your face, and it is hard to move away from it, to try and sort of affirm your way into a higher state of consciousness. That's not what you do, because it is hard, and it is just going to reaffirm. As you're affirming more money when you're very conscious of no money or lack of money, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to create the result you desire. Because as you're affirming, probably with gritted teeth and frustration, you're reaffirming to your nervous system that it's still not safe, that you're still coming from that place of lack and scarcity consciousness. So the thing to do is to go into a state of pure consciousness, like pure level awareness. So Neville Goddard calls this SATS, which is a state akin to sleep. Joe Dispenza talks about it in terms of going so deeply into a meditation. So your body is so peaceful, is so where your awareness is of no thing, no body, no time, nowhere. You are just, your body is completely rested and in a deep relaxed state, but your mind is aware. That is when you are in an unconditioned conscious state. Unconditioned. That is the playground with which you get to create. So it's about going into that state daily, multiple times a day. Going into that state, and when you're there through just meditating, through relaxation practices, that's when you then start to become conscious of what it is you want. So you literally start to create from that state. You manufacture your desired outcome internally first. Become so clear on that outcome. Like, what is it you want to create? This is literally, guys, how I cleared my debt. £50,000 in debt. I'd been in debt for 2 decades, 23 years. And I cleared that debt in 6 months because I did this every single day. I got into that state of unconditioned consciousness, pure relaxation. And then I began to focus on being paid in full, being clear of my debt. And this is how I've created things ever since. So the new business with Candice, I had no clue that was coming in, but I was focusing on a result I wanted. The result wasn't a joint business. The result was not that. It was a different desire, but the channel through which it came was even more expansive, and that was Candice in a second business. So it's about letting go of how your desire is going to come in, trusting that it will come in the best way possible. Like the finite, as in your brain, cannot inform the infinite. Your mind cannot inform the infinite. You must be open to receiving, but you have to start first by manufacturing your desire, the consciousness of your desire, from within first. So create that state of deep, deep relaxation, manufacture that state until you feel it with every fiber of your being, until you feel as though it's done, you're coming from that place. And then as you emerge, you kind of anchor in that state. As you emerge, you go about your day. Of course, it's not about coming out and then going, oh my God, my bank account's pants. Oh my God, my diary's empty. Oh my God, this business is so hard. It's about retaining that state as much as possible. As you do this regularly enough, you start to habituate that new state of consciousness. It becomes a habitual state of being. And the moment it becomes a habitual state of being, you start creating a new tomorrow. Your results start to change. So you have to give it that practice. You have to be aware that there is a time lag. You'll start very quickly receiving signs and specs to follow, to guide you. Maybe a clear download of a post you want to write, or you may get a clear idea of sort of the next step. Take that next step, because those are the specs and signs that are guiding you towards that desire. So you have to take those steps. But just, if anything from this, please take the fundamental truth that your consciousness is the one and only reality. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Please, just this is why whatever you're doing isn't working, because of your state of consciousness and what you are consciously creating by virtue of what you are conscious of. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know in the comments below if this is helpful. I'm actually thinking I might do some kind of a 5-day or 3-day event around this to really teach and help you embody this, because honestly, this has been life-changing for me, and I know what it's like when you are kind of chasing the system or a strategy, and you're trying to implement, but you're conscious of negativity, you're conscious of it not working, you're conscious of it being hard. Okay, I'm at risk of repeating myself, so I'm going to stop there. Sending you heaps and heaps of love for today. Have an amazing, amazing day, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.